Hey everybody, it's Pastor Tim, and it is time for Story Bible Time with Pastor Tim. So we just read about, if you remember, end of last week, Solomon builds the temple. Remember, Solomon is the king that came after David, and they wanted a place where it is thought that God actually lived and dwelled on earth, and that was the temple. And the temple is in Jerusalem. We're going to continue the story of the Hebrew people throughout the Old Testament with a story called Elijah and the Widow. Elijah and the Widow. So here's the picture. See what you think about what it might be about, and then let us read. Elijah was a prophet. God helped him show and tell others about God. One day God said, "Pack your things, Elijah. It's time to move to a new town. I have told a widow there to feed you. I will make a miracle." It was not a good time to move. Rain had not fallen for many days. The sun was hot and the earth was dry. Elijah didn't have any friends in the new town, but he listened to God and went to the town. When Elijah finally got to the town, he was thirsty. Just then, he spotted a woman. Could this be the widow God told him about? "Excuse me, ma'am. Could you please bring me a drink of water?" The kind woman hurried to get the water. Grr, Elijah's tummy growled. He remembered that God said the widow would feed him. He called after her, "Excuse me, ma'am. Could you please bring a nibble of bread to eat?" The woman stopped in her tracks. She turned to face Elijah. So here's that picture. I bet you, who do you think that is? That's probably Elijah, right? And here's the woman. And there's a jug of, what do you think is in there? Probably water. Let's continue on and see what happens. The widow had sad eyes. "I am sorry, sir. I don't have any bread. The last of my oil and flour will only make a biscuit. My son and I are going to split it as our last meal. We have no other food." She started to cry. "Dry your tears," Elijah said. "God will make a miracle for you. Bake the bread and share it with me. God promises that your flour and oil will not run out." The widow mixed, kneaded, and baked loaf after loaf of bread. Her jar of flour and jug of oil made plenty of food for Elijah, herself, and her son. God's promise was kept, and it was a miracle. So there, Elijah, the woman, and her son, all eating the bread that the woman made. And here's the star question. You can help feed others too. Gather extra canned food from your house and give it to a food bank. That's a great idea because there's a lot of people, especially now, that may not have enough to eat. So if we could find a way to eat them, that would be great. So maybe you look around for some food in your house, and maybe you can even look up online places to donate it. And if you need, like 68 Hours of Hunger is a place in the area that helps provide food for kids on the weekend that may not have enough food. And there's a place in Portsmouth, in Dover, and in Somersworth that all collect it. So go to the website, end68hoursofhunger.org, I think it is, and see where you can donate it. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.